Caledonia Works started out in 2017 by focusing on locomotives from the Caledonian Railway, but they have since branched out to represent various other UK railway companies, including the London, Brighton and South Coast Railway, or as I sometimes call it, the Let's Bite Some Cheese Railway, or whatever other silly acronym fits those initials. At present, I've got 5 LBSCR classes in my collection, with 3 of them being from CW, plus the Victory Works Terriers and Rustic Engineman's E2. I am yet to acquire CW's renditions of the D1, E1, H2 and K classes. It's been a fair while since I last reviewed something from the LBSCR, so I thought I'd remedy that situation by looking at the L class 464 tank engine of 1914. But first, a brief history on the L class. This was a numerically small class designed by Lawson Billington, with only 7 examples built at Brighton Works. The first 2 engines, numbers 327 Charles C. McRae and 328, appeared in 1914, but the remainder didn't follow suit until 3 years after the end of World War I. The last L to be built was number 333 of April 1922, and she was named Remembrance in honour of the LBSCR men who fought and lost their lives in World War I. Remembrance was the only member of her class to receive this pleasant grey livery with black and white banding. I don't think it's supposed to be photographic grey, but that's what it reminds me of. Incidentally, there's a fan-made Thomas series that features Remembrance as one of the lead characters, but she appears in her rebuilt N15X condition instead of her original tank engine condition. These were powerful locomotives designed to haul express trains between London and Brighton, a job they handled successfully, although there were initially problems with water surging around in the tanks when they were half full. This was solved by fitting a well tank in between the frames and blanking off part of the side tanks, although their external appearance remained as it was. The London, Brighton and South Coast Railway became part of the Southern Railway in 1923. This saw the Ls renumbered in the 2327 to 2333 range, having originally just been 327 through to 333. They were kept very busy with Brighton Mainline express trains until 1933, when they were made redundant following electrification of the route. As the Ls were still relatively new, Richard Maunsell, who was the Southern Railway's chief mechanical engineer, didn't scrap them, and instead set about rebuilding them as 460 tender engines. The rebuilds were classified as N15X and remained in service long enough to be inherited by British Railways in 1948. They had all been withdrawn by 1957, with number 32331 BT, originally number 331, being the last of her class in service. Sadly, none of the N15X locomotives have survived into preservation. The L class is a more recent addition to Train Simulator than I thought, having been released in April 2024. As of early October 2025, she is still available to buy from CW's website for £15, or around $34.54 NZD, at full price. The N15X rebuilds are not included in this pack, but I see that they're on the developer's list of future DLC. As for what you do get with the L-Class pack, we'll start off with the liveries, as is tradition at this point. The selection is as follows: LBSCR Marsh Umber, LBSCR Grey, Southern Railway Pesto Green, which is actually a former London and South Western Railway livery, SR Brighton Green, and SR Maunsell Green. The only differences between the Brighton and Maunsell liveries are the former still having burnished smokebox door details, as well as the latter's lack of a B prefix and use of a 4-digit number instead of 3 digits. There aren't any British Railways liveries included because, as I said in the history section, the L's had all been rebuilt by the time the railways were nationalised in 1948. As for what my favourite livery in this pack could be, that is easily LBSCR Marsh Umber. Come to think of it, I wonder what the L would look like in Stroudley's improved engine green, as seen on the G-Class. The L-Class is equipped with SimNation's Locomotion 2.0 scripting, and her list of features includes, but is not limited to, smoke particles that change depending on the season, fluctuating water level depending on the route gradient, realistic performance physics, steam chest simulation, fire intensity synchronized with the exhaust beat, performance mode, and numerous cab camera views, although I suppose it wasn't a good idea to do this demonstration when I was stopped at a platform. As for any customization options, there's only the running number and silver ring round the smokebox door, which can be changed in the scenario editor. As is always the case with a more modern CW product, the L-Class doesn't come with any scenarios. But she does come with quick drive consists, the requirements for which are listed on the website and in the manual. Personally, I like to run this engine with the Matrix Trains Pullman, LBSCR or Maunsell coaches, which look nothing short of appropriate behind the big 464 tank. We do have a London to Brighton route in TS Classic, but it's not set in the steam era. Instead, it's set in the 21st century, more specifically around 2011 or 2012. The rail scene focuses on modern third rail electric multiple units like the Class 377, but you can also run units like the Class 319 and Class 460 along here too. I know that the Class 403 Brighton Bell EMUs were retired in 1972, but sometimes I still like to run these units on the modern image route just for the heck of it. As for any LBSCR area routes that are actually set in the pre-grouping era, only one comes to mind, namely the Portshaven branch by Glenn Streeter. It's available to download from the Golden Age Developments website, and as much as I like pottering about on this route with the LBSCR engines in my collection, the L-Class still feels a bit out of place here because A, she's too modern for a route set in the 1880s, and B, she's better suited to going like the clappers on the main line instead of trundling along a short branch line. Out of curiosity, I conducted a test run on Just Trains' Marsdenshire route to see just how fast the L can go. I used the section from Port Keen to Marsden Central because it features a long straight north of Dent Valley racing circuit, thus allowing locomotives to get up to a pretty good top speed. On this run, with 9 LBSCR coaches in tow, I got the L up to an absolute top speed of 72.3 miles per hour. It's a shame that, aside from Portshaven, there aren't really any other suitable routes for the LBSCR steam locomotives to run on, with the limited potential for realistic scenarios being one of the few downsides of the L-Class add-on. The main reason why I like this engine is simply because of her well-proportioned design. Indeed, I've always been a fan of big tank engines, with that interest being prompted largely by discovering the New Zealand Railways WAB class, which happens to be another 464. Come to think of it, another way to look at CW's practice of modelling so many pre-grouping and Big Four era engines, more than just the ones on screen, could be to think of it as future-proofing, in case we ever do get suitable routes. For now, I think the London, Brighton and South Coast Railway L-Class deserves an oddly specific 7.378 out of 10, and for anyone who's stuck around to the end of the video, you win a French tightrope walker who was obsessed with Debbie Harry. It's Charles Blondy.